Dr. Hubbard, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Electron, and we're now the leading UK mutual flexibility marketplaces for distribution network utilities. So we're basically the exclusive flex marketplace for a third of them. We're a kind of route in to another third, and the last third are retendering now. And it's been quite a journey. It's been an 8-9 year journey. It's a lot of missteps. We've existed, we like to joke, for about 3 years longer than distribution level flexibility has, but we very much started Electron with a view of like, there is a missing time and location to prices. I was a failed battery investor. I was so pissed off that batteries could create all this value by avoiding curtailment, by enabling faster connections, and there was no way for them to get paid for it. That I went on rather a circuitous route to try and find out how we could pay batteries for doing helpful things, and ended up on this kind of campaign. That took me, I worked for Ofgem for 4 years on this on a part-time but paid basis to write the incentives for this for network utilities along the way. Sat on the government's Net Zero Council and found I was doing nothing there and trying to hold them hostage. It's been like an extraordinary journey to try to get to where we are today. And it really does feel like, I saw a lot of people nodding at this, like one step forwards, one step back. Like we just opened an office in the US, but like, my God, we need flexibility. And we're like, thank you. And they're like, so let's build gas. Three themes that I wanted to kind of build on some of the stuff JP was talking about. One is granularity on time and location basis, and what we're seeing that kind of corroborates that on the physical side. Obviously, building kind of network markets, we're very much on the kind of physics of what's actually happening on the grid and what can and can't. Theme two is the monetization of that through flexibility or energy adjustments, and how kind of important that bit is and how here it's been missing. But maybe what people don't understand about how to actually monetize those markets, because we see a lot of money being left on the table here. And then the third is this thing about faster network connections, and I think you kind of brought it up. You were speaking to a lot of things like data centers and AI, who really, I mean, I don't know if anyone knows how much it costs to build like a full-in cost to build a gigawatt data center strategy, but something like $40 billion. Like these guys are not capex constrained, and essentially they just want a route through. So theme one, granular, just to corroborate and build on some of what JP was saying about the increasing granularity of time, I really want to add and location. I mean, the whole promise of renewables, of cheap, abundant power, does depend on when and where you're using power. And that was just like a massive blind spot for the industry. I mean, we don't even have any sort of form of locational price. Probably many of you are involved in the discussions of what that looks like at transmission level. At distribution level, that is felt violently. Like the location really, really matters, because you can't have everyone. You can't have more than 2 people often on a single street charging their EVs at the same time. So, as I said, we've been here for 8 years. Really, in the last 18 months, we've begun to like win this kind of full market share in the UK because of that shift. That's why we're here. That's how we were able to kind of unseat the kind of incumbent approach of just Excel sheet procurement, basically, of these flex options. This is happening. Location is getting really, really, really valuable. Theme 2 then, and time, because that is where the value is created. Theme 2 then, how to monetize it. We see a lot of the like smarter, kind of more agile, and like really kind of customer-oriented, forward-leaning folk, like Octopus, some of them sponsoring this event, like really all in and kind of first in these markets. What we're seeing a lot of, though, is some of these bigger investment assets, like some of these grid-scale batteries and some like really big C&I kind of firm demand, just not bothering with distribution, despite the fact that a lot of these assets exist to make money, but they are like investment purpose assets, unlike some of these dual purpose assets like, you know, EVs and things in people's homes. That is because it's kind of felt like to be too complicated. Flexibility, so what the distribution level operators are buying is an option on your megawatts at your location, and often they're buying an option up till day ahead, week ahead, maybe even month ahead. They know if they need that action nearer the time, but the way they build their networks is they have to be available in a P 99.5% or 99.95%, you know, 0.05% of the time you can be down. So if they need those options are really valuable. If you're not being paid those options to exist in your location, then they're building a new network or they're not connecting people, and you can trade exactly how you want with your aggregator day ahead, intraday, but just go and get paid for your option. Come and see me after this. If you are one of those assets and you're not doing it, you're leaving money on the table, and for everyone, like for the whole country, not just for your own assets. Then there's more money. The third theme is faster grid connections. Essentially, if we can use our network more effectively, we can connect some of these new assets faster. And there are people who are shouting out for this. A lot of the connection requests we're seeing, or some of the really challenged ones, data centers, maybe at the kind of 10, maybe like 5 to 50 megawatt type. They're kind of distribution connected, but they're in city. They can't put batteries. They don't have any space. They can put batteries behind people's meters. They can pay customers to get batteries. They can buy other flex, or even pay for the capex and flex that's located near them. There are other much cleverer solutions. We've been doing some of that with SSEN. Again, like if you're looking to connect things like that, and want to come and talk to us, we are, like it or loathe it, sort of sitting on the DSO side, knowing what they need to know about you to make those things happen faster. And I think there's a route to thinking through these business models really differently. But I do want to end on a slightly bleaker note, because I mean, the transition to evolution thing, I loved it, and I fervently want it to be true and believe it to be true, and I think it very much is true for some of the things on the EV side, but we do not have that luxury, because our first route to market is that B2B SaaS sell, where we're talking to distribution utilities, and a lot of them in the US right now, about how they can use flexibility, and gas is the kind of key form of flexibility they need, and it has to be faster, and it has to be cheaper if it doesn't have to be greener. And the narrative used to be like, save the world and make some money, and now it's like, make some money and save the world. And, you know, it's almost that kind of sotto voce thing. So I think we just have to keep talking about the business case of it. I feel really strongly that there's going to be a massive kickback in this country for the route that we're exploring right now to net zero by 2030 is just so expensive and so unoptimized, and we're going to lose the mandate to do it unless we do it with optimization. So just to build on that, let's keep thinking about also like saving real physical costs while we're doing this, and then let's work together on how to monetize that, because it's not the right way to unlock value for that yet, and we all still need to go and be like furious with governments, regulators, for that not being paid for and that being so needed.